After the opening bell frenzy, it's time to make the call on the markets. What to play?
What is the recipe for economic recovery?
How to play?
They've got bigger than $500 billion. They're putting it all into infrastructure.
The smartest people on Wall Street will help you make the call on your investments. The Call, tonight at 11 on CNBC.
Well, let's take a look at the performance of some clean energy stocks since the 1st of March. Let's take a look at BYD, higher by 26.7%. We've got Vestas up by 21.5%, and First Solar in the US up by around about 17.5%. Now, all of these stocks recording double-digit gains there, as you can see. These also happen to be the choice picks of our next guest, fund manager of Arkx Investment Management, which focuses on green investing. Arkx Clean Energy Fund saw a stellar March with 6 stocks in its portfolio, including the above, recording double-digit gains. Geoff Evison is the co-founder and portfolio manager of Arkx Investment Management, joining us now live here in Sydney. Geoff, good to have you with us today.
Thank you very much.
Do have to watch out for bugs in this studio.
Okay.
Let me talk to you about the rationale, first of all, between I guess investment in this sector. It's really very quickly emerging as certainly one of the more important socially responsible sectors to be involved in.
Yeah, I mean, we think it's an investment opportunity of our lifetime. We look for companies that will benefit from the transformation to a low-carbon economy. So we're looking for international stocks and Australian stocks that basically strong balance sheets, positive cash flows, and profits. The average size of the company we invest in is actually roughly $5.8 billion.
Okay, $5.8 billion. Now, I noticed that 30% of your investment is in China. The latest research report that I've seen shows that China overtook the US in terms of investment into this space, in particular wind, solar, and other renewable sources of energy. So it is now the world's biggest investor.
Yes, there's a lot of misinformation being spread about China and their lack of investment in this area. But in fact, this document proves actually they're the largest investor in the world. Last year, actually, they became the largest manufacturer in both the wind and solar sector. And they invested, the report actually focuses on the G20, and China was the largest, actually investing $34.6 billion, which is roughly double the next country, which is actually America at $18 billion.
So double the amount. You know, it's significantly larger. Therefore, would we not expect to have more than 30% of your portfolio there?
We have to, obviously. We can't be sure of. We watch very closely policy changes in each country, and therefore we wouldn't want too much of the portfolio concentrated either in one country or in one company. So we've tried to create a product here that's investable by the large super funds. So we look at it as a conservative way to invest in this area.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about some of the stocks that you're invested in right now. We, of course, had a look at 3 of them. You've got how many stocks in your portfolio?
So 22 in total in the portfolio. 22
in total.
Yep.
All right. 30% of those are coming from China.
That's right.
Where do you see the opportunities now as we sit?
I mean, obviously, China has the balance sheet for the sector, and also China have described this actually as the next space race, investment in renewables. So there's a lot of policy momentum behind investing in this in China. I mean, one of the companies we invest in is a company called BYD. It's a global leader in lithium-ion batteries and also electric cars. They supply 1/3 of the world's mobile phone batteries. Their profits were up quarter on quarter, 270%. They have 160,000 employees and a market cap of roughly $18 billion US dollars. I mean, Chinese companies started in, I believe, 1998 with 200,000 US dollars. Now a global leader. You combine the expertise in lithium-ion with, they were the 5th largest car manufacturer in China last year, and you look at the potential. I mean, China's, I think, the fastest growing car market in the world, the largest car market in the world, and I think actually month on month car sales were up, or year on year actually, car sales were up 78% in China as of March.
Okay. Any other investment opportunities specifically that come to mind? I mean, are we talking the US? Are we talking other places around Asia aside from China?
I mean, we look internationally for companies that are leaders in their fields. So obviously Europe has had a lot of policy incentives to encourage renewables, so they're the leader there. So we invest in Vestas, for example, which is the world's leader in wind turbines. They have about 24% of the market. And I mean, the growth, and we get so excited in the office looking at the opportunities in this field. I mean, the growth in renewables worldwide. I mean, there was in that report released recently, they said $200 billion will be invested in this area in 2010. The International Energy Agency said $45 trillion needs to be invested between 2010 and 2050.
That is huge.
And we're talking a economic revolution, the equivalent of the railways or the industrial revolution. You know, as I said, we think this is an amazing investment opportunity, and it's driven by really three underpinnings. One is growth in energy consumption. Secondly is fears about energy security, so that's the US with the Middle Eastern oil, and Europe concerned about getting the majority of its oil and gas from Russia. And the third, obviously, is climate change and legislation being introduced because of climate change, which is forcing investment into this area. So we think, you know, this is underwritten by three main drivers, this investment in this theme.
It's nice to see so much passion and also a good news story coming out of all this volatility that we've been seeing in the markets at the moment. Geoff, really good to have you on.
Thank you, Laura.
Chatting to us. Thank you so much for joining us. Geoff Evison there with me from Arkx Investment Management. Well, coming up, our next guest says the market sentiment in China is likely to improve in the second quarter and it's time to up your risk appetite. Find out why right after the break.